I mean, I had several investors say to me right at the beginning when I started my business. One particular man said to me, if I had a baby, this would all be over.
Yeah, the eternal problem. You are a startup, so you don't have much money.
We are the strength. There is so much that we have. We think differently.
But was it a high-risk investment? I had a listing with Superdrug. I don't know, I think they got quite a good deal.
Oh wow, there's so many of you, and I'm so glad that you've all joined us tonight. So we have the amazing Lucy and the amazing Laura joining us today for our panel. So I will sit just over there and then you two here. That's brilliant. Perfect. Can everyone see a screen, by the way? Raise your hands if you can't see a screen. Okay, perfect. On the screen, there is a QR code. On that QR code, it takes you to a platform called Slido, where you guys can basically ask questions. You can put your name across those questions, or you can ask them anonymously. So if you want to ask something a bit more sensitive and you want to be anonymous, that's completely fine. You can also upvote those questions. So say Vasily puts a really great question and you guys also want that question answered, give it a thumbs up. It will bump it to the top. It means that I will be sat here with the other half of the Slido, and I will be able to ask our wonderful panelists all the right questions. So, well, let's get started, shall we? Amazing. I have noticed that Vasily's just run up and stolen a mic, which is very brilliant. Thank you. Okay, perfect. So let me give you a quick intro to me, and then I'd love to hear you guys in a little bit of an intro. I'm very excited. So my name is Meera. I'm the Events and Community Manager at SeedLegals. This event is obviously in collaboration with Rare Founders and also with Google Cloud. I know we have quite a few SeedLegalers in the room. So if you work for SeedLegals, just put your hands in the air for me now. That means if anyone has any questions or needs anything, then you can find those faces afterwards for a quick chat. Anyone with Rare Founders, put your hands in the air. Amazing, look around. Brilliant. So we've got quite a few people here that can help you and answer some questions. And Vasily's got a whole program of events. So if you want to come back.
How many founders are here?
Oh, yeah. Raise your hand if you're a founder.
Yay. Amazing.
Raise your hand if you're an investor. Amazing. Quickly hide. Let's put your hand down if I were you. And then do we have any operators, people who work for startups, anything like that? Brilliant. Welcome. Amazing. Okay, cool. So that is me and that is everyone else in the room. What about my wonderful panelists? Lucy, do you want to do a quick intro? Tell us who you are.
Oh, hi, I'm Lucy Anderson. I am the founder of WooWoo. It's a personal care brand that I started I started thinking about it in 2016 and we launched into Superdrug in 2018. It's now a range of products that are available globally, and we've done 2 funding rounds so far. We've raised a total of 1.6 million, and we're in the middle of a tiny little one at the moment.
Amazing. Congrats so far on that's incredible success. I've definitely seen WooWoo in Superdrug. Is it in Superdrug or am I making that up?
No, we're in Boots, Superdrug, Sephora, Look Fantastic,
This is incredible.
Blue Mercury in the States.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
And Laura, please tell us who you are.
Hi, everyone. Thanks so much for having me. So my name is Laura Tudor. I am the founder of haircare company Centered. We like to say that we're the creators of the inside-out method. So inside we have supplements, and for the outside we have a big focus on scalp care. We've got this amazing treatment called the scalp facial. Come and find out about it. And then, of course, hair care as well. And I started after experiencing a personal issue with hair loss. And I'm very lucky. My husband happens to be an award-winning hairdresser, so we went on this whole recovery journey and realised that this is a very common issue that lots and lots of people go through. So yeah, we launched back in 2020. I think it was 1 month before COVID. Perfect timing. So first 2 years were kind of navigating COVID, post-COVID, digital fatigue, lots of fun things then. And then we launched in Selfridges in 2022, which has been amazing. And we're now focusing on the kind of professional salon distribution channel. And we have done 2 fundraising rounds. I've done my first fundraising round was 350,000, and I'm currently mid-raise after just having a baby. So,
Congratulations on everything.
Can I just say, Laura's got really beautiful hair.
Gorgeous hair, and also her baby is actually here in the building, which is just incredible. Like, what a superwoman to be doing all of this. 5 weeks old, to be doing everything that you're doing, and it's incredible. So thank you, and honestly, thank you so much.
Thanks,
and please thank your husband as well, because he's
I
here.
know. I mean, I have a very helpful husband. Just saying.
Hopefully, he can hear from here. I'd love to just start by saying, what's it like? What's it like being a female founder in a world that feels, well, an ecosystem that feels so male-dominated? What's it like for you?
Tough. It has been really tough. It's getting better. But also I'm in the consumer goods sector, which also changes the dynamic, because you're not going to see the kind of return that you would see on an investment on tech. And also I sell products, intimate care products and products for women, and men didn't really understand them, found them quite amusing, if anything. So my first investment round was led by a group of rich white men who thought it was really, really funny to talk about what they'd invested in at dinner parties, which I found really upsetting. So my second round, I found an angel, and she put all the money in. And so now we're majority female funded.
That's incredible. Laura?
So I never really felt there was ever a difference between men and women until I started fundraising. So I come from a family of boys, or just brothers, and my husband's family are all boys as well. So I don't know, I never really felt there was a difference until, like I said, when we started fundraising. And I think I also feel there's a difference in timeline here, because fundraising the first time, which was, just mid-COVID, I'm going to say, actually was a lot more enjoyable, I'm going to say. And I don't want to say the word easy, but it's along those lines. Whereas this round, oh my goodness, has been very tough. I feel like the investment environment has changed hugely recently, and it's been a lot more of a hard grind. And I think, especially when you're saying about tech being a lot more attractive, maybe to investors wanting maybe like a 50x on their return in comparison to fast-moving consumer goods like ourselves. It's not maybe so fancy at the time at the moment, but no, I think we're just plowing on, and we're getting there. And we've got some absolutely amazing investors. So I think it's also finding the right people, and when people get you, then it's amazing to have them on board.
Amazing. And why do you think women find it more difficult, I guess, to start businesses or to raise money? I guess that whole journey, like traditionally speaking to women, they always find like it's really tough, and a man will come into the room and be like, "No, it's fine. it was fine. I got investment." So why do you think it's harder?
I think there's a lot of factors at play. I think we don't necessarily mix in the right circles. We're not meeting the people that have the money. I sat in front of a fund. It was one of the very first meetings that I had, and I'd gone to Superdrug, and I'd said, "Okay, Superdrug, I've had this great idea. Here's some bits of paper of what the products might look like," and I couldn't believe it. They said, "All right then, okay," and listed. So that was in January. So I had to raise money to get the products on shelf for September. So I sat in front of this panel of 4 people, and it was horrific. I'd never been in that environment. I've never worked in the city. I'd been to see my bank, but I'd only ever gone to the cash machine. I hadn't even spoken to a bank manager. Yeah, anyway, I know a lot more now. I don't think I'd put myself through it again, though.
I'm going to say the question again. I'm so sorry.
Why do you think why is it hard?
Why is it hard? Because I would say, obviously the obvious fact that we have children, we have time off, but how that impacts our business can completely depend on that person's situation. So it was quite a scary thing for me. This round has definitely taken a very long time to raise. I'd say it's been getting on for a year actually. And I fell pregnant in January. And obviously we're just closing at the moment. So I fell pregnant kind of mid-raise, and it was such a tricky decision to know what to do, to know whether we should tell our investors up front or whether we should close the round and tell everyone after we'd raised. And it was actually a really, really difficult decision. In hindsight, and what I would maybe pass on as my learnings from this experience is that, I actually decided to hide it. And I actually, if anyone was going through the same situation, I would be like, wear it proudly from the get-go, because again, like if we've told all our investors, and they're thankfully very understanding and amazing, and I knew myself that I could do this, like no problem. But did they know me so closely? Not so much. And I think that was the hesitation from myself. But thankfully, they're all amazing, super supportive, except for one. But we'll ignore that one.
Names.
No names. Well, actually, if we're being completely honest, I feel like we should be here. Actually, we did have one major investor back out, which was incredibly difficult. But I do feel very, very passionately that that if it's not 100% yes, like hell yeah, we're in, then it's majoritively like no, and that maybe it's not a complete perfect fit. So I think even though it's taken longer, it's just been like the absolute path that we were supposed to go down, obviously. But why do I think that's definitely, probably, even though no one wants to say it, probably a reason. I had several investors say to me right at the beginning when I started my business. One particular man said to me, if I had a baby, this would all be over. And that, that's like going around my head when I'm making this decision. And I'm like, yeah, that was one of the reasons I didn't tell people. But times have changed, and I think everyone's a lot more understanding. So yeah, I would say that's probably a reason why.
It's an incredible story of trusting your gut. You know that you have an incredible product, both of you, wonderful females, and everyone in the room, right? Like, you are powerful females who are building amazing things, and you're doing it because you love it, because you're building stuff, not just for you, but for everyone else. And do it and be a female and wear that badge proudly, but also trust your gut. And if you see some investors come in who might be a bit, iffy, or they might say the wrong things, then don't take the money for the sake of taking the money. But like, it's okay to say no. It's okay to, go down a different route or something like that. So
it's quite hard to say no, though.
It is hard. But I guess trust your gut, right? Like,
Yeah. No.
Amazing. Right. Let's have a look. Who has submitted questions on our Slido? No one. Great. All right. Nailed it. Anyone? Oh, we have some questions. Let's have a look. Brilliant. Right. We have one question, which is, how do you build a tech business without funding? Tough, because you're in consumer.
Yeah. A tech business, I feel like I've heard some amazing stories about accelerator programs that maybe are, if you're not a tech operator yourself, and I guess that's where the cost is, then to go and maybe look at these accelerators, partner with potentially another co-founder that is, and maybe save some money there. Otherwise, obviously, the obvious is raising. But yeah, I feel like a joint partnership, maybe the lead idea, and then partnering with someone who has that experience is probably a good step.
There's also lots of, I say that. There are government agencies, things like Innovate UK. They've been quite helpful. They provide lots of courses and they can help you raise money.
Without equity, which is always a bonus.
Lots of grants out there.
Yeah.
Competitions, you could enter some competitions.
Yeah, I did right at the beginning. I'm not sure if it's still running, but NatWest backed her business, where it's
Nice.
a kind of a rewards-based crowdfund, and
There's
they
a
matched
Virgin one as
the
well.
fund. Yeah, there's quite a few. I think so. That's definitely a good opportunity as well. A loan, maybe, dare I say it? But yeah, loans have been incredibly helpful, obviously.
Credit cards.
Klarna.
I don't know if it's worth actually mentioning whilst we're on the topic. SeedLegals doing awards, and the nominations are open. So if any of you wonderful women in the room and men, anyone here, there's so many different awards, and go get yourself some cool nominations in. And I mean, I know Ali's in the room, but we can share afterwards. Yes. Super cool stuff. So competitions, awards, grants.
It was amazing last year. I had a great time.
It's a lot of fun. I think we've like 800 to 1,000 people in the room in May, it's also on my birthday. So if you could all sing me happy birthday.
Lots of investors as well.
Main character.
I'll be in the green jumpsuit again. Okay, we have one with a name. It is Camille has said, what are your biggest challenges when it comes to hiring and sourcing the best talent, especially when competing against more established brands?
Yeah, the eternal problem. You are a startup, so you don't have much money, yet you need people that are really, really good. And it's a real problem because you end up with sort of middle of the road people. With everything that's happened of late and the most recent budget, I'm viewing fractional help. We've made quite a big move towards that, which is I struggle with it because my previous business I employed lots of people. Yeah, so we've moved to mainly fractional help now. We're down to 2 employees, and because you get a very high caliber of person, and you I don't know, I find I just need that person that can just turn their hand to anything and will do it really well.
Yeah, I would say we are also very, very lean, and in the small amount of experience I have had hiring people to this date, I think what I really want to build is people that are kind of part of us, not necessarily like a family, but kind of like family, like people that really believe in our vision, maybe have either experienced something similar or just love working with us, basically love what we do. And I really believe in an equity exchange, which if it's for more established brands, maybe that's more difficult to offer, but for nimble startups that are able to kind of that are wanting to attract new talent, then yeah, options is always a really good thing. And in hindsight, I've never personally looked for a role. I've always kind of been I guess like an entrepreneur, but if I were in that position, that's what I would be looking for, a piece of the pie, something where I know that I am, investing my time into something that actually is going to impact me in the long run as well. So yeah.
Set up your options pools, SeedLegals.
It's a good shout. I didn't even have to say it myself.
I use option pool at TDRs.
Amazing. There we go. Yes, go for it. Hands up. Brilliant.
Hi. I hope you don't mind. I have 2 questions.
Could you introduce yourself as well?
Yes.
Tell us who you are.
My name is Miriam. I'm the CTO and co-founder of Mensa. Thank you so much for sharing your stories. I'd love to hear from your perspectives. First, as founders of lean companies, how you keep yourselves from burning out. And second, since as women, we are socialized to doubt ourselves constantly, especially when we go through shitty situations. Thank you so much for sharing candidly about your experience with investors. How do you keep yourself going? Because this journey is such a roller coaster. There's great highs, but very low lows. You seem both so confident and accomplished, so I'd love to hear your thoughts.
Thanks. Laura did say she was getting slightly mad earlier, so I'll let you.
Yeah, I feel like, well, I actually had a previous business which I closed, and that was I had a very stressful time doing that. And that stress is what led to my hair loss, which just kind of like opened up the new chapter for this kind of journey and this business. So even though it was a stressful time, I started a new business. Well, kind of closed that chapter, wanted a much easier life, and then started obviously a new business, which obviously has its stresses still. But I feel like I've just become more like resilient, and just like the stress is always there, but it affects me. I've managed to find a balance where it affects me a lot less recently, and especially obviously there's been another layer of complication at the moment which we're still navigating. But finding balance, I mean, yeah, it's just realizing that you're doing your best. So maybe it's not high productivity every single day, but it's the consistency that is the really important thing, and making sure that you're gonna get knocked down, you're gonna get no's, you're gonna have your bad days, but it's like getting back up. And I'm telling myself here actually right now, every single time. And it's like that famous thing, it's like you only don't make it when you give up. And I think if you don't give up, you're gonna find a way. So I would say, yeah, and what do I do to avoid doing it? Probably like lay very still and like not really move.
In a dark room.
In a dark room. Yeah, no, something along them lines. Actually, I have given up drinking, and I've not drank for a year and a half, which has been amazing, and I'd say very good for my mental health.
Where's the beer bottle gone, Lucy?
Oh, I wish people would stop telling me that. I might take the hint eventually. Medicinal. Yeah. I saw something the other day. Maybe it was a Steve Bartlett thing. Maybe not. Someone else wise, saying that the secret to being a founder was handling stress, and how well you handled stress determined your success. I've taken that on board because there's a lot of stress, and I'm still here. It's a roller coaster. It's just ridiculous. It's so high, so low, so high, so low. I've taken up yoga, so I'm still drinking red wine, but I've taken up.
It's all about balance.
It's about balance. It's about balance. Yeah, and I don't work weekends unless I really, really have to. I've tried to. So I'll work all days, long days, but I've got children as well, so I need to put my phone away, and I don't look at my phone as much as I can at the weekends, and just live my life.
Incredible. Any more follow-ups on that? Or are you all good?
Quick question for me.
Yeah, go for it, Vasily.
Do female founders have a life?
Yeah, we do.
Yes, yes. Slightly. I've not got many hobbies. No, I'm feeling guilty about this. I feel like I should have a hobby, but my hobby's my job.
Yeah, I think that this is my life. I'm like, I actually really enjoy it.
Yeah.
I think a little bit of funding right now would make, like, loosen the slack a little bit, make it a little bit more enjoyable.
Raise your hands if you're an investor again.
Just over there somewhere.
What I've learned is that I'm a very high risk person. I'm like all or nothing. I'm like, let's do this. Yeah, so.
Did you always know you wanted to be a founder, both of you?
I actually come from a design background, so I kind of always wanted to have my own design label, I guess, which I did have at some point. So I guess I just naturally fell into that path. But now I couldn't see anything other than that now. I did have a small stint where I worked in a corporate company, which was for 9 months, and it was a bit short-lived because, yeah, it was an amazing experience actually. But I think I'm just a very creative person, depending on what that is I'm creating. But I love creating companies and operating them as well.
Can I ask Laura a question?
Yeah, of course you can.
So how do you cope with running a company? Because I, like you, love all the creative bits, and now I'm running this global company going, how?
Now,
Yeah. How do you manage it?
yeah, I've definitely been a bit slower this month, but I'm picking it up. I'm getting back into the swing of it now. I'm really lucky. I'm going to say that again because my husband is my co-founder, so I should have said that at the beginning. And he's not always been, but he's very slowly come into the business as like it's been doing better. So answering your question a bit more as well, I kind of see this vision where I enjoy working. Working is my life, and I'm trying to make it as enjoyable as possible to do that. So actually, it's obviously tough days and things, but it's really fun. I get to spend time with my family while I'm working, and feel very grateful and privileged to be able to do that.
And I feel like you're not just saying that. Like your husband and the little one are here. Like you are enjoying what you do. You're telling people your story, but also your family's here right by your side.
I think as well, I've seen other female founders do it, and that is literally what has gotten me through it, because it does feel absolutely mental that I've got a 5-week-old baby in like the next room. But actually, I've seen really strong friends of mine that have done the same thing, and it's been that's inspired me to go on. So I don't know, maybe if this helps someone, hopefully it will.
I also feel we should probably note that when you emailed earlier saying the little one's coming, Google Cloud really quickly stepped in to say,
Sebastian.
We've got a room, if you need to feed, if you need to do anything, there's a space you can use. And I think that creating events for females, but making it a space where females can be females is so amazing, because that lets you be a woman, that lets you, have a family and do this at the same time. And you can run up and down the stairs and be there as well. So I think, thank you.
Yeah,
Google
thank
Cloud,
you so much. And it has been crazy hard. There is no it's not been all fun and games. And we are going through the fundraising round, which has taken a lot longer. So without saying too much, you can imagine the pressures that we've had. But I'm enjoying every single minute. And we were just saying this on the way, actually. I was like, this is crazy, but I absolutely love this. I feel so lucky that we're able to do that.
One day you're going to tell the little one a story.
I know. Your first event with Google. Your first trip to London.
Yeah. Need to get her up on stage in front of that.
I've got a question here, and I can give you some guidance as well, but it's how do you find investors? So there's definitely one person in the room who works for an amazing company called Scribe. Eki, throw your hand in the air for me. There she is. Has anyone heard of Scribe? Brilliant. Exactly. Okay, cool. So we are also doing an event with Scribe, but that's beside the point. Scribe have a really amazing platform that I guess Eki helps you find angel investors and has a whole load of data. So I will leave Eki to mingle afterwards. You probably need some help over there now. But yeah, Scribe is amazing event. So we're hosting an event with Scribe. We host an event with someone called 𝗙𝗲𝗺 who runs fundraising playbooks. She's incredible. She gives so many guidance and tips on how to find investors, but also how to reach out to investors, and also what to do next. So how do you maintain that relationship with investors afterwards? So those are webinars, in-person events. I know 𝗲𝘅𝗍, your demo day, where you can get up on stage and basically pitch to other founders in the room, operators, investors. So events, connecting, networking, all of that's incredible. But that's all my knowledge. Lucy, Laura? No, I'm sure there's so much more, LinkedIn or word of mouth, I don't know.
What was that? How do you find your investors?
How do you find investors?
Literally find them, or how are they?
How do you find them? I think. Otherwise, I've just misinterpreted that entire question. We're answering this one now. Looking for them.
Looking for them. Yes, networking, going out there, chatting, going to everything, chatting, meeting people. I like people. It's good. Just chatting. Lots of chatting. Lots of chatting.
Amazing. And when you network in person, would you carry like business cards around? Like, how would you like get in front of that investor and like get your, I guess, like pitch deck in front of them? What tips can you give people?
I used to have stickers. I used to get some more stickers.
Yeah, stickers.
Did I give you stickers last time I saw you?
I think you gave me a sample to put in my pocket.
Yeah.
Wasn't sure how to feel about that.
Handing out products, giving people products, getting product into hands. And I had some really quite cheeky, quite rude stickers that I used to give out that always attracted lots of attention. Postcards. Yeah, not business cards.
I guess that's really good because that's like, I'm putting my brand in front of you, but I'm not being salesy. Like, be quite cool and creative about it. Nice.
It's me, cool and creative.
Cool and creative. Laura?
So finding investors, I'd say really look closely at your own network first of all. Like that's how we found lots of our investors. I think we've got lots of small angel investors, should I say? We've got a couple that are bigger and lots that are quite small. So yeah, we found a lot through our own network, and we were lucky because Kieran has a great network of clients being a hairdresser. So that was quite interesting because they obviously saw what he was doing, and a lot of that came quite naturally. However, I feel like there is nothing better than a warm introduction. So yeah, really looking closely at your own network, like seeing who you can ask for an introduction, or maybe a friend of a friend or an acquaintance. That's definitely worked really well for us. Like showing up to events, yeah, I'd say the same thing as well. Just getting yourself in front of people. I don't know if any of you follow, I would highly recommend to follow a lady called 𝗲𝗲𝗃𝗃, who's the founder of the Stack World. She did something, she's kind of like, I feel like she's like a big sister to so many people, but she gives lots of inspiration for raising. And there was one thing she said that, or she did one time, I remember she was trying to get in touch with an investor, knew they worked in a specific building and actually waited in their lobby for them to come out because she knew that was an opportunity not to be missed. So
didn't you get arrested for that?
she didn't, but that was like, that's really powerful, right? That's not taking no for an answer. It's trying to getting yourself in front of people. But I went to lots of events, and some are good and some are terrible. But one of the things I used to do was literally take my range. So I'd stand in the room, business card samples in my pocket, but I'd have the full range in like a really beautifully displayed box. So most people were kind of like, what's this? They were intrigued themselves anyway, and then I could do like the full pitch. So yeah, I think like just go for it. Don't be shy or anything. I think that's what investors, I would say, would want to see as well.
They're also a bit like buses. Once you get one, once you're into that network, then you can spread your little fingers out.
Like we had a couple of investors that came in with their friends. So again, with the introductions, they introduced their friend, and we had a couple that I think there was maybe 4 or 5 that came all together, which is obviously like the dream. Yeah.
It's quite interesting. It's like, do things that other people aren't even doing, like stand in a room with all your products, give out stickers, not business cards. I've definitely heard stories of people like physically printing their pitch decks and just putting them in the post and like just mailing them to investor offices. Like obviously quite tough when we work in this like half remote kind of society, but like they're going to go into that office one day, surely, or like their colleague's going to go, you've got a letter here, like, what's this? So stuff like that. But it's also, who do you know that might know someone else? And I've heard stories of people just like basically exporting their entire LinkedIn and going, right, like I could reach out to them because they might know so-and-so and so-and-so, and like, like utilizing your network. And it's time to call in all those favors of like people owing you. So
I feel like for this round, it's slightly different. I feel like we've got lots of angels for the beginning, but for this round, it's kind of like, things are getting a lot more developed, a lot more serious. Whereas we're looking for more investors that have got experience within our space. And then they really understand, maybe, they're not kind of starry-eyed from the tech promises and the multiples for the exits from that, but actually they understand where we are in our business and the trajectory for the future. So yeah, I think that's, for LinkedIn, I would be looking at like where is there founders, female or male, that have exited recently. Obviously, they're sitting maybe potentially on some investment, and they're looking for maybe brands or companies that are doing this or maybe on a similar journey to what they've been on as well.
Go on.
There's also a lot, well, in the consumer product space, there's a lot of incubators, which we haven't gone to, but I know lots of other founders that have.
Yeah, go for it.
Thank you. Hi both. Thank you for sharing your stories. It's been really insightful. I just wanted to ask a question regarding the first half when you was talking about being a female founder and some of the stigma that's attached to it. It's unfortunate to hear you say that, you know, for women, like family planning is something that will like make you not want to raise investment or make you not want to be a female founder. And do you feel like that women are now having to almost suppress themselves in terms of wanting to be women or their like female desires as a way to be founders? Or do you feel like is that something that, because I also touched on the fact that you said you got pregnant almost as if like it wasn't planned. So do you feel like that's something that people also have to almost like not do because they don't want to like ruin it for themselves?
Oh, great question. I feel like for me, I had actually been putting off having a baby for so long because I almost was describing my business that it was my baby. I knew I was concentrating on my business. So I kind of had been putting off as like a personal answer, but I hope that's not the case at all. I'd say that was my own like personal response to it. I'd say that there is a lot of people and investors saying that they are female or actively looking for female founder investments, but you know, the reality is that actually investments have gone down post-COVID for investments made in female founders. I think it's something like 2% of like VCs are fund female founders individually. That's not a mixed founding team, but that's just individual female founders. So obviously that's quite a shocking figure, right? So, and to know that it's gone down since then as well, I think it's just like, it's time for people to kind of put their money where their mouth is, I'm going to say, but yeah. Sorry. Disaster. Sorry. I hope not. I'm going to try my absolute hardest that it's not going to be, I'm not giving up, basically.
It's just made me feistier and angrier.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, not backing down. No.
Can I ask you a question?
Go for it.
So obviously we spoke quite a bit about the challenges. Were there any examples or instances where you actually used you being a female founder as an advantage for yourself that maybe helped you? Maybe some interesting stories.
I love that question because I also was wanting to say at the end of that, like, I definitely don't want to be a victim. And I think we are the strength. Like there is so much that we have. We think differently. I can multitask to the max. Again, it's a whole new experience now. But yeah, I feel like there's so much strength in women that I also don't know. It's a different energy, I'm going to say. It's a different energy.
The sisterhood. The sisterhood's amazing. We are so lucky. We have each other, and hopefully everyone's helping everyone. And that's why we do things like this, because we're here. We'll answer any questions. Honestly, there's no ego. Don't give a monkeys. Ask me anything. Yeah, women are great.
I think it's a necessity as well. Like it's a necessity to have both. It's not either or. It's both. And I think obviously we've had such like a male dominant landscape for so many different things for so long. Whereas like female energy, bringing it in, finding that balance. Maybe again, you know, you could relate that to so many different aspects. So why not female founded companies? Why not? I mean, actually, there was another friend of mine who is the founder of By Rotation, and she was talking about like what women need. I think she was doing a big presentation. She was talking about like, you know, we get given as women maybe lots of courses or maybe lots of like, you're here, you can have this extra bit of education, but actually no, we need funding. That's what we need. We need access to funding. So I totally agree with her for that as well. And
the stats are behind us, I think. I don't know if anyone knows them, but I think there's a statistic that says female-founded businesses are more likely to keep going. They're not going to combust. Thank you. It's significant, isn't it?
It's incredible, isn't it?
Yeah, invest in women.
Lucy, you said anyone can ask you anything. There's 29 questions on here. So if anyone is on Slido, please do me a favour and upvote ones, just so I can see which ones everyone is after, because it will help me. We've gone through 2 of these questions, just so you guys are... Yes, upvote, and we'll take the floor question.
Thank you.
Thank you.
My name is Camilla Anderson. I'm the founder of 𝗘𝗲𝗃𝗃. And I was wondering, when down the line your businesses are wildly successful and you find yourself with excess wealth, would you become investors in female-founded businesses?
100%.
1,000%.
And when you are in that
1,000%.
position,
Think about
She
it.
said.
and when you are in that position, what are the, I guess, what sort of female founders would you want to empower, having sort of been through that journey yourselves?
For me, my particular interest is in women's healthcare, so I would invest from that angle rather than anything else. I was really lucky, so my second round was majority funded by a lady called 𝗷𝗵𝗃𝗃𝗃, who had just done the sale of Cult Beauty to the Hut Group. So she not only knew beauty inside out, but she came with cash as well. So I was really, really lucky. And that was women chatting to women. That came from a friend who said, I was moaning about my board, and she said, I think you should meet Bettina. And that came from that. So I can't even remember what the question was, but yeah, for me, healthcare.
Healthcare. I don't know if there's necessarily. I think I'm going to be quite broad, and there'll be so many different factors. It could be the individual founder. It could be that I believe in something specific. Sustainability has been a huge passion project of mine, even though we don't talk about it so much. It's really something that I personally find interesting. So I feel, not beyond interesting, extremely passionate about. But I think there's lots we can be able to do around that, but also around well-being. I mean, it's probably personal interest that it comes down to as well. But absolutely for, really, I think, putting my money where my mouth is. I know I said that just before, but supporting women who maybe were going through the struggles that I'm going through now.
It kind of has reminded me of 𝗜𝗍𝗄𝗃. If anyone's in Female Founders Rise, just put your hands up for me.
Emmy's amazing.
Because Emmy is investing, I guess, relatively reasonable tickets into female-founded business, but she also has the community. She runs events. So she's kind of finding ways to support females, and if she can invest in them, she will. And she's doing amazing things. So there's people like that who are just phenomenal in this space. So it's so exciting.
𝗜𝗍𝗃𝗃. It's Female Founders Rise. There's a lot of resources on that platform. It's the same as, it's different, but there's the Stack World as well, which I would recommend. Those two are really good resources.
We will be hosting their event in January, actually, and February for here. So it'll be
amazing.
The whole day will be at Google Cloud with Emmy and the team.
There we go. We plugged Seb's event.
Thank you.
I'm just going to take one from, we've had so many upvotes, so I'm going to take the top ones up here. One of them is going to sound like I've rigged it, and I promise you I haven't. At what stage do you involve legals in your company? I had nothing to do with that.
As early as possible. I struggled, tried to do it myself, and it's just much easier.
Yeah, nice.
SeedLegals have been amazing.
Stop it. I didn't pay you to say that at all.
No, they have been genuinely, and I think going through a funding round, coming from a design background, I had no idea what I was doing, and that was amazing. But what I did know somehow was to protect my IP. And that is what, talking about legals, I did protect myself as early as possible, right? Actually, before I launched, to make sure that I had my IP protected.
Yep.
So I would highly recommend doing that in any way you can. And then, yes, SeedLegals have just been amazing, like hand-holding the whole fundraising process and bringing a lot of security and reassurance.
Stop it. So sweet. Thank you. And well, thank you to the SeedLegal team. You're all in the room watching, so thank you. This one's really, so I've got two questions. This one is, how did you know you were ready for external funding?
I didn't have any money.
Cool. Nice.
I think that's a really good question, because I also had a couple of comments from one of my male investors, actually, that he told me that I wasn't ready. And it was quite difficult to hear that, because I'm like, yeah, like, I'm ready. Of course I'm ready. Like, oh, God. But actually, at the time, now in hindsight, I understand what he meant. And I think even, it doesn't matter that it came from a man, it could have come from a woman, but I think that was a really good piece of advice. And again, hard to swallow, yes, but developing your company to a point where it's like got as much traction as possible gives you the benefit and like the, I guess, like the best possible chance to get a good deal. I've seen a lot of founders now, a lot of friends of mine give away huge chunks of their business, meaning that when they're further down the line, they either can't raise because they can't give too much away, or they have to raise and give more than they want to do away. And yeah, I mean, it's really hard. Obviously, it's your like sweat, blood and tears that has gone into something, and you're maybe in a really difficult situation. So yeah, I don't know. I think there's
Yeah, I think Laura's right. I say that facetiously, not really. Well, I had to produce 10,000 of 5 products. So I needed £100,000 to get off the ground. And I wouldn't get a loan for that. I had a job, but it wasn't paying me anything close to earning enough to do that. So I really did need the money. And the only route for me was to go out and get funding. But it was a high-risk, was it a high-risk investment? I had a listing with Superdrug. I don't know. I think they got quite a good deal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think as well, like it's hindsight, isn't it? It's just like you have to go through that experience to have the knowledge. To like, you get told all these things, and it's not until you actually go through that situation that you're like, that's what they meant. I feel like that happens to me a lot.
So I have just been told we have 5 minutes left. Will you two be sticking around afterwards?
Yeah. For pizza, yeah.
Yeah, of course. Okay, cool. So my final question is, if you could give 3 pieces of advice to every single wonderful lady in this room, what would it be?
I would say network. There is, especially being in London, we are so blessed that you got these events on all of the time. Like, I've moved to my hometown in Chester for being closer to my parents, and there is a lot less there. So, this is obviously like a hub. Get out, go to these events. There's lots on Eventbrite. I would say, yeah, look at your network so closely and see if you can, just reaching out to people and asking them if they could go for a coffee, not necessarily for investment or anything, but to maybe ask for advice. And maybe it might not lead to something, but maybe they will keep you in mind for something in the future. There's just like get in front of as many people as possible. And the third thing, I am going to say, 3 resources. SeedLegals, I'll say Emmy, Female Founders Rise again, and the Stack World. They're like, I think the Stack World is £10 a month. It's an incredible resource. I think it's a similar thing for Female Founders Rise. So, yeah.
Amazing. Lucy?
Oh, my 3 bits of advice. Oh, cripes. I had them in my head.
And don't give up.
Sorry.
That was the 4.
Yeah, that's a good one. Understand. Oh, right. 1, believe in yourself. So when I first started out, I had massive imposter syndrome. This is completely new for me. I'd run my own business before, but in a completely different area, and it was more of a hobby job. This was something huge. And someone said to me, "Hey, Lucy, if you're going to sit like this, huddled over, and you're trying to sell me your products, I'm not going to believe in them, am I? You need to sit back, power pose, and talk to me about your products." It's like, okay, right, point one. Point two, understand where you're going to be making your money, because when we sell a product to Boots, the government gets 20%, Boots takes 60%, and then everyone else in between seems to get a bit of the margin, and actually you don't get left with very much, and then you've got to pay all your costs. So just really, really understand how much it costs you to sell whatever you're selling. And yet, third one, enjoy the perks of running your own business, because there are some, I know I've been a bit moany tonight, I'm always a bit moany, but it frees me up to work the hours, roughly, that I want to work, and I can go and do other things, and I can come back to my desk. I feel that it gives me a lot of freedom, and hopefully one day financial freedom.
I love that meme that's like, you quit your 9-to-5 job, so now you work 24/7. True story.
Amazing, and I am so sorry for people who have asked so many questions. It feels like we need a part 2, a part 3, a part 4, and a part 5. So thank you. This has been amazing. Thank you, Lucy. Thank you, Laura. For those of you who didn't realise, we did have a special guest join us at the back of the room for a little bit. Your little one was in the room, which is super, super sweet. Thank you so much for everyone for joining us. We're going to shuffle some chairs out the way. My wonderful team are going to help do that. We're going to get to networking. There's still some drinks outside. There will be some pizza. Yeah. Pizza is here, everyone. Get to the pizza. Obviously, if you need anything, have any questions, need to find some more events to go to, anything like that, then please feel free to ask any of us. I know Google Clouds have an incredible program here. Vasili's got an amazing program. We've got some more events coming up. So there's tons of stuff, and we'd love to see you all again. So yeah.
Can you send out an email with all the links for all the things that Seb was talking about?
Yes. Yeah, we can do that. Seb's smiling at the back. Love it. We will get that for you. Thank you so much. It's been amazing.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And careful.
It's quite.
Sorry for the water.